Welcome to In24 Headline News in the Heart of It. I'm Vicki A. Lee, your anchor for today. Before we begin with our stories, here's Christina with a short hello.
Hey Vicki, I'm bringing you some sunshine for Wednesday, February the 17th. Hang on to some of the vitamin D because we've got some more flurries on the way for Thursday and Friday in the Greater Toronto area. Come on back, I'll have all those details for you.
Thanks, Christina. Now let's take a look at the top news of the hour. The U.S. tax season started on February 12th, and it may benefit you to file your taxes as early as possible this year. CNET offers 4 reasons to file your taxes as soon as you can. It could mean getting your tax refund sooner, receiving any missing stimulus checks faster, a chance to set up direct deposit with the IRS to fix any errors, and having a better chance of getting your full payment with the newly introduced stimulus check for 2021. On February 11th, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that some self-employed Canadians who claimed the Canada Emergency Response Benefit will not be asked to repay the money due to mixed messaging by the CRA. The government acknowledged that there was unclear language in the application, meaning that some Canadians will be able to keep up to $14,000 in CERB payments, despite being ineligible for the funds. How many cups of coffee do you drink a day? Are you trying to turn that number into 0? According to dietitians, kicking the coffee drinking habit is a challenge, but not impossible. Here's some quick tips to eliminate that addictive morning elixir from your life, courtesy of CNET. First, you can wean it off by drinking fewer cups per day. Secondly, you can also replace coffee with another drink, like tea. Finally, you can do it the old-fashioned way, that's cold turkey. Have you tried quitting coffee before and with success? Share your experience with us below and help fellow caffeines quit for good. Police in Myanmar attempted to contain a demonstration in the country's capital, Pyi Taw, as they fired rubber bullets on thousands who defied a ban on protests. Police allegedly also used tear gas and water cannons. The protesters gathered to stand against a military coup that stripped the elected government of its power last week. Hong Kong graduates of Canadian universities can now apply for a new category of 3-year work permits. Temporary Hong Kong residents, including visitors, students, and workers, can apply online for visas. Eligible spouses or common law partners and dependent children can also apply for a study or work permanent visa. BBC recently published horrifying accounts of systemic rape and torture of Uyghur women in detention camps in China. Although the Asian country has denied the investigation's findings, the report has drawn international ire. You can read more about the report on in24.ca. Electric vehicle giant Tesla will be offering a new payment method for its cars through Bitcoin. Since the announcement earlier this week, Bitcoin's value saw an increase of nearly 13%. Tesla reportedly invested $1.5 billion into cryptocurrency, according to its 2020 SEC filings. India dropped to 53rd rank in the 2020 Democracy Index Global Ranking, falling 2 places since 2019 when it was at 51st rank. The Economist Intelligence Unit, or EIU, classified India as a, quote, flawed democracy, along with countries like the US, France, Belgium, and Brazil, the Economic Times reported. The EIU said that the erosion of civil liberties and, quote, democratic backsliding by authorities caused this regressive ranking. The report alleged that the government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi has, quote, introduced a religious element to the concept of Indian citizenship, a step that many critics see as undermining the secular basis of the Indian state, end quote. More news is on the way, but first let's check in with Christina to see what she has to say about the weather for our environment.
Thanks, Vicki. You know what I brought for you today? I brought you some beautiful sunshine and some well-deserved vitamin D for Wednesday, February the 17th. Boy, was I sick of seeing those snowflakes, but we do have some more on the way. For our Wednesday, the remainder of our Wednesday, we're looking at that mixture of sun and cloud as we head towards those evening hours, a high of -3 degrees. Overnight, -16 degrees Celsius. That doesn't include the wind chill to everybody. And then for Thursday, okay, I told you we had more snowflakes coming, and towards the afternoon time-ish, we are going to start to see some more snowflakes. -3 degrees Celsius, a low of -6 as we head towards those evening hours. But if you're anything like me and you love those morning workouts, here is your warning, everybody. It's going to feel like -17 for your Thursday morning, so you got to make sure that you're all covered up when you go out for that walk. Friday, February the 19th, a high of -3 degrees. Here come those flurries, a low of -9 degrees as we head towards those evening hours. It looks like for the weekend ahead, we could be dealing with some more flurries, but you got to tune in for those details coming up.
Thanks, Christina. Welcome back to In24 in the Heart of It. I'm your host, Vicki A. Lee, and you are watching Headline News. Residents of northern Ethiopia are living in fear, hunger, and isolation following mass murder in November 2020, according to reports. Travel to the region of Tigray in Ethiopia is currently not available, and residents are living in intense restriction with no access to phone services or internet. Reports indicate that political disagreements have resulted in gunfire, murder, and forced many to flee their homes. The Government of Canada released its Flu Watch report last month, stating that influenza remains exceptionally low for this time of year. The report stated that at the moment there is no evidence of community circulation of influenza. It also stated that influenza activity is below the threshold required to formally declare the start of a flu season. A recent report on anti-Indigenous racism in healthcare revealed that Indigenous people living in British Columbia are 75% more likely to end up in the emergency room. The report also found that far too many Indigenous people in BC don't have access to family doctors or primary care services in comparison to non-Indigenous people. There have also been high reports of racism within the healthcare system when it comes to treating the Indigenous population. Since the COVID-19 pandemic began in 2019, people across the world have been forced to make significant changes to their lives. As many countries went into lockdown, there have been higher reports of substance abuse in some parts of the world. The UK is reporting a 16.4% increase in alcohol-related deaths, while here in Canada, there has been a 58% increase in opioid-related deaths since the pandemic began. According to The Independent, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk controls a quarter of all active satellites orbiting Earth. That is, about 28% of all active satellites in orbit. On February 4th, SpaceX launched 60 Starlink internet satellites into space. The launch helped the company reach a booster reliability milestone. Falcon 9 rocket lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40, located at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. 9 minutes later, the Of Course I Still Love You ship that is responsible for catching falling boosters and returning them to port was there to catch the Falcon 9 with open arms. A North Carolina landlord identified as Robin McNeely has created a wall of shame to expose tenants who are late on rent. With the eviction moratorium still in effect, the city and landlord used this strategy to publicly shame 19 of her residents, Fox News reported. The display shows 19 driver's licenses and the amounts owed in full view. The tenants said that they felt humiliated and violated by the landlord's actions, especially in the wake of the financial difficulties caused by the pandemic. A legal correspondent on Fox said that the residents have grounds for a civil lawsuit and even criminal harassment against McNeely. Residents told Fox that the motel landlord is white, while all the targeted tenants are black. A friend of one of the residents has launched a GoFundMe campaign to help the family pay off their outstanding rent and relocate from the motel. You can find details of this fundraiser on in24.ca with Wiki production code A0592. Thank you for watching In24 Headline News. Remember to download the MSMU app and visit us at in24.ca to get the latest stories. You can also follow us on social media for uninterrupted news. And if you want to submit a story or connect with the In24 team, you can find us all on MSMU Social Net. Until next time, stay in the heart of it. I'm Vicki A. Lee from Internet News.